Hey everyone, Metal Shop Steve here again with a video. So I promised that this would kind of be a more thrash focused year for me in terms at least of album reviews. So as promised, I have an album review here of a fairly recent release. Today I want to talk about the new album from thrash veterans, German thrash veterans, Destruction. So they have a new album out called Diabolical. It came out not too long ago, or a little bit earlier this year. And for those of you who don't know, again, it's a German. They were kind of one of the big four of Germany in terms of thrash. I really like two of their, I guess they're kind of compilation slash reissue albums. Thrash Anthems. They put those two out. They have a volume 1 and a volume 2. I really like those a lot. I know that kind of goes against traditionalists. We like the original album, so those are kind of redone. But I really like them. And, I like their style. I like their sound. And so this album, and one of the things I like about thrash is that it kind of has a lot of little subgenres of its own almost. So you have the guys who are like evil and like borderline death metal in terms of how they thrash. You've got more of the straightforward guys. And then on the other side, you've got guys who have a little bit more fun with it and not necessarily clown around, but certainly take things a little bit lighter. And so for me, I feel like Destruction, at least for this album, tends toward a little bit of the sinister almost. I wouldn't say they go into death metal at all, but it is a ferocious album, and that is a great way to describe it. It is ferocious. So that's the first thing I'll say that should get you intrigued by this album. So really what I'm going to do is just give you overall my feeling of the album. Again, ferocious is a great way to describe it. That's how I feel about it. So it starts out with kind of this slow drum march sounding type of intro, and then boom, right into the title track, Diabolical. And so actually I have listed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I have 4 songs picked out as my favorite tracks from this album. But what I'll say about the album overall, it is, even the ones that I didn't pick, it's the best way to describe this. So the ones that I picked stood out to me in some way. The tracks that I didn't pick are all just straight in your face thrash, Destruction thrash. And I enjoy it. I enjoyed the whole album. I've listened to it a bunch of times now. So that's really how I kind of can differentiate my favorite tracks from the rest of the album. Overall, super, super solid. If you pop this in while you're driving, you will not be disappointed. It is, again, ferocious. So the first track that I marked down, and I kind of just go through the album and grab them out in order as I come along, Hope Dies Last. And it is, if it can be at all, an uplifting track. This is kind of it. It's more of a fight anthem, like... hope is all that remains, and so never stop fighting. And so that's kind of the message of the song. But this one is an absolutely blistering combo of pretty much everything in the band's arsenal. So you have that backbeat, the drums, the bass is really up front here, and this really chunky low-end guitar. It's just racing. It is such a blistering type of song, and I have marked here in my notes, so fast. In fact, that's what it is. This is a very fast, unrelenting song. Even the solo in here, there were a couple solos to me that stood out on the album, and this is one of them. I thought it was just, again, it is speed from start to finish. Next track I have marked on here, Servant of the Beast. And at first, when I saw the title of this, the first thing that came to mind, of course, is Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden. They sound nothing alike, but I like the title. I had high hopes, and I wasn't disappointed. So there's this cool, really kind of riffy, I guess. I use that word a lot. I like riffy. But a really cool guitar intro to this before it really kicks in. So it's kind of this, I don't know, almost a little bit of a melodic guitar intro. And then you get the pick slide down the board. And then it starts like just blasting you into brutality. And that's the word that I have marked down for this one, brutality. After that kind of, again, melodic guitar intro, it is just, solo, again, is one of the highlights of this song for me. Another great solo here. Next up, the third of my 4 favorite tracks on this album, The Lonely Wolf. And this one is actually a little bit different. There's a bit of a groove metal swagger to it. So almost like a Pantera feel, almost a little bit like a Black Album Metallica feel, where it's not quite that fast, but it is mean and it has this swagger to it. Vocally, this song, again, ferocious. I think this is the other time that I wrote down that word, ferocious vocals, here on this one. And then the last song that I have picked out for this album is actually the closing track. And you never know what you're going to get with the closing track. Some bands kind of just throw a weaker song on there at the end. Some people close with something instrumental. And this one is unique. So they closed with something unique, but it wasn't a throwaway song. It's called City Baby Attacked by Rats. So, of course, I was really intrigued by the title there. But let me tell you, it is 2.5 minutes of pure speed. It feels very raw, too. I don't want to say like a punk rock kind of feel, but in terms of the chorus, it's kind of like a boom, 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 City Baby Attacked by Rats. And then like the rest of the band kind of shouts out in there too. So unique feel to this song, but very cool and a really great way to end this album. A nice surprise here. So that's my take on it. Again, if you like Destruction, you're going to like this. You're going to love it, perhaps. It's fast. It doesn't let down anywhere along the way. You will not be disappointed in this. It is a little bit of an evolution from their very earliest stuff. But again, if you like Destruction, if you're a thrash fan, you are going to love this album. And even if you're just generally a metal fan, you're going to love this album as well. There's enough there for everybody. Again, Diabolical is the name of the album. Go check it out today. Thanks for coming by.